Welcome back, everybody, to BG Addict. This is Tony. We're going to continue our playthrough of Full Radiance. We are going to go ahead and try to tackle that last set encounter in the slums. First thing we're going to go do is work on some of our equipment. Okay, so we're going to pull, share. We're going to praise that jewelry. Okay, and then let's pull it again. Let's buy. Need to upgrade our armor. Let's buy plate mail. Buy plate mail. Buy plate mail. Buy plate mail again. Okay. For now, let's go ahead and identify. Well, let's share first. Go back out. Cast detect magic. Go back in. Pull. Let's identify our magic items. Chainmail +2. Shield +1. Broadsword +1. Ring of protection +1. Gonna unequip that banded mail. Equip the plate mail. Sell. Alright, we'll also sell that longsword. We have no need for that. Gonna go to rolling. We're going to see ID, ID, ID. And we are going to unequip the banded mail and equip the plate mail. And there's going to be the same armor class either way, but the reason you want to do that is if you're using magical armor, you don't get any benefit from a ring of, a ring of protection. And although we don't have one on that character right now, we should sooner than later. So we're going to sell that longsword. We're going to go to Marlin. We're going to unready the abandoned mail. We're going to sell it. We're going to equip the plate mail. We're going to sell the longsword that we have no need for. ID the chainmail. ID the leather armor. Really don't have need for the leather armor either. Usually in this game, the bracers are going to be a better option than wearing leather armor anyway, 9 times out of 10. So let's ID short bow, ID the arrows, unready the banded mail, ready the plate mail, sell the banded mail. Okay. Get rid of that non-magical quarterstaff. ID the flail. Oh. Chainmail +2. That will give you the same armor class as a plate mail, but there again, you won't be able to use the ring of protection. That you would actually not be able to use that ring of protection +1, and it would not be as good armor class. I don't believe. Let's see. Right now we're looking at -3. If we unequip the ring of protection and unequip the plate mail and equip the chainmail +2, right? It doesn't give us any benefit. It doesn't have as good of a armor class as the way we had it. And if you see, if we equip the ring of protection, it's still an armor class -2. So that's the reason why it does that. And that is excuse me, part of the rules in first edition, and the second edition too was kind of similar. So let's unequip that chainmail and equip the plate mail. Okay, so we got -3, 0, 0, -1. Uh, I think that looks good. So let's share so we don't forget or leave a pile of gold sitting there. That would suck. Alright, so we used about all of our gold. So let's go ahead and head back over to the slums and try to finish this last encounter. Okay, so here we go. Some monsters are tossing a sack of grain. When the sack breaks, they wail, "Oh no, what can we throw now?" One looks your way. "I know," he says. Okay, so we are going to come up with a plan here. So we're going to need Sylvia to be able to cast heal spells and have access to our front line. Just spilled my drink. That's great. So let's go ahead and have her cast that magic missile. Didn't do anything. Let's try Anneline's magic missile. See if she can do better. Yep. Okay, so he hit the troll. We need to drop that troll as quickly as possible. Okay, I'm not sure who he hit. Let's see who he hit. He hit Roland, so that's okay. Let's cast Magic Missile. Okay, good. Troll went down. That's good news. Alright, so let's. We need to remember that a troll was dropped in these two squares because in a pool of radiance, unlike pen and paper D&D, um, if you go onto a square, one of the two squares that the troll occupied, he cannot raise up after a certain number of rounds. I forget how many it is. But in pen and paper, if you've ever played Dungeons and Dragons, you know that trolls don't care if you're standing on top of the pieces or not. After you kill them, they'll rise up and eat and chew on you the whole way up. So you want to you definitely want to move a character on one of the two squares that he occupied after you kill one. That'll keep him from coming back. A lot of times it's easier said than done, but you want to use those ogres there for a while, just to create a barrier between you and the trolls. They're not near as deadly as the trolls, so it's kind of good to leave them there as long as possible for the most part. So let's figure this out here. I can't get my mage up close enough to get. Could probably hit. No, there's no way to get. two of those trolls and an ogre and a stinking cloud. It's a 2x2 spell. It has an area effect of 2x2. And the square that you select will be the upper left hand corner of that square. So let's do this. I know I just looked. I need to figure out again. Okay, hit rolling. So let's do this. Let's move and I'll move Sylvia there. Cast a Cure Light Wound spell. Okay, we'll save that Stinking Cloud spell for the perfect moment. See how his hit points are looking. Good, good, good. Okay. So let's equip our darts. Not having a lot of luck with our hit rolls, I'll tell you that. Okay, so we dropped one ogre, so we want to take advantage of that. Best thing to do here, I think, is to try to get our mage Annalyn in a position to take out three of those, to immobilize three of those with a Stinking Cloud spell. So, I think this is a little risky, but we'll move him all the way up here. Come on, Annalyn, we need you to have a turn. We're going to equip short bow with the magic arrows. Alright, so here's our golden opportunity. So we're going to do a kamikaze attack with Annalyn. Cast Stinking Cloud. Okay, so we got one of them. Aim. Go ahead and drop him. Aim. Drop that. Let's see. Be careful on this fight. Make sure that you don't accidentally make a move that you did not intend to do. That's really easy to do in Pool of Radiance, because one errant move can cost you the entire battle, and this game is not forgiving at all. So you want to just make sure that you are mindful of that. Okay, so battle's won. That Stinking Cloud spell, usually at this fight, your mage will have one Stinking Cloud spell, and that is it. You may have two if you're playing two pure magic users, um, but you need to make use of that Stinking Cloud spell. It is extremely valuable. It's crucial to this fight. So we're done. We got 1,222 XP. So let's see what much money. 40 gold, 50 platinum, 1 jewelry. So let's share. Okay, so we got a pole arm. I don't remember if I said it in a previous video or not, but Gary Gygax had a love for pole arms. Has like 24 different types of pole arms in first edition, like 8 different kinds of swords. So it's, you know, so we'll just have Paris take the pole arm and the bastard sword, and then have Annalyn take the scroll. All right, so we're done with the slums. We've got 2 characters that can level up, Rolf and Sylvia. So we are going to go out and claim our reward for clearing the slums. Have to identify that magic user scroll before we can scribe it or do anything with it. And as you can see, we didn't even end up in that fight even coming close to death. And you know, you can see there our hit points aren't critically low. It's all about that stinking cloud spell and making use of that, and finding the perfect time to pop it, and you can get through that fight without a lot of trouble. It's all about strategizing and finding the perfect opportunity to get that one spell off more than anything. Alright, so let's think we need our detect magic, cure light wounds. Now we can go back to our sleep spell. Gonna take 2 sleeps and 1 stinking cloud. Stinking cloud is stays invaluable for a long time. It's a good spell to have. Anything over 5th level, I think it is, they're not affected by sleep. So after a while, your sleep spells are not useful at all, but your stinking cloud is. Alright, so let's rest and get all our hit points back. Okay, so we need 1 more day for rolling, and everybody's at max. Alright, so let's go turn in as you at your entry. The council clerk begins looking through a stack of papers. Before I can offer any commissions, I must see if you are due a current reward. The clerk speaks. Your clearing of the slum area permits us to expand. Here's your reward. 450 experience points. Typically, your reward on these are pretty much just jewelry, gems, maybe gold and platinum. That's pretty much it. And then she just repeats the commission for Sokal Island to be Sokal Keep to be cleared on Thorn Island. She's offering that reward for the books, tomes, and maps. There's a weapon of great power to be auctioned to our enemies. This auction is to be held in Podal Plaza. Find out what the weapon is and return. These are all the commissions available. So we need to get to the shop. Turn on a search so we can get it back to daylight again. Just hold down the L key until you get to 2400. Okay. Whoops. I wanted to cast, turn off my search and cast detect magic. There we go. Okay, so yes, as always, we pull first thing. Items, ID, yes. 2 spells. Paris. Bastard Sword. Glaive +1. Would not suggest using a two-handed weapon that's only +1. If you get a really good one that's maybe +2 or +3, that could be worth it, but not a +1. And let's see. And Bastard Sword falls into that category too, so that's pretty much just vendor trash. Let's check. Chainmail +1 is a useless item. Really no need for it. Same thing with leather armor +1. You're better off using bracers on your fighter thief if you're going to do that. So we're going to get rid of that. We need to ID. Alright. And Rolf. Yeah. He doesn't have a magical weapon. Just realized that. We could actually give him polearm. Let's give him this bastard sword too. Let's just take a look at something here. Let's see which weapon does more damage of both those two-handed weapons. So right now his damage is 1d6 +2. Well, that's because he's using those. With the long sword, it's 1d8. (1d6). See that's not as good as that's not even as good as that sword. 2d4 +1. It's not worth it to give up the magical, or to give up the shield. Well, we should be able to find another magical one-handed weapon here real soon. Very soon. So and actually we could give him, for now, give him the flail. (1d6 +2). Yeah, we'll do that. Because I don't typically, in Polar Radiance, I don't use my thief to backstab. Now in Baldur's Gate, yes, I backstab any chance I get. Usually, if I have a fighter thief, I don't do it if I've got a thief of like 13 strength, because it's just not as effective. Okay. Oh, she's got. Okay. So pull. Rolf needs 200 platinum, but with that 15 strength, he is overloaded. Now we should be okay. Take 200. Yep. And Sylvia needs 200, and then we can share the rest of it. Exit. Let's go to the inn. And magic, scribe, second level spells, And because Annalyn is going to be our long-term mage and it'll stay with us, I want to inscribe every spell that I can to her first before giving it to Sylvia. We'll add invisibility and detect invisibility to our spellbook. Just save it just for shits and giggles. Alright, and then so we said Rolf and Sylvia. I think Rolf is going to be in Thief. We'll try that first. Yes. So Rolf has 16 hit points now. Ends with 18. That's about typical for a multi-class thief, fighter thief. Alright, so now we're going to get Sylvia taken care of. And I think she'll be magic user. Yes. So she gets another first level spell. Enlarge is a good spell. Alright, so we're done there. Oh, Sylvia can get a level in cleric too. View. Trade. This is very tedious doing it this way, which this is not my preferred method, but no, I don't want to quit to DOS. Okay, 178, so we don't have quite enough. So what we'll do, let's go out to the temple here. Yes. Appraise. Jewelry. Yep. And let's see what that did. View. Nope. Yep, she's good now. That was not a very valuable jewelry. Alright, so yes, we're gonna train. Yes. So she's at 17 hit points now. Begin adventuring. Yes. Memorize. Let's see what she's got right now. So she needs detect magic. She's a second level. We want whole person. And we want sleep. See what she looks like now. Yep, that looks good. That's looks good. Let's go and save. Clear out some of these unexplored squares here. Not that it's important. Okay, so looks like we're going to be heading off to Sokal Keep to clear that for our next commission. Let's go up here and clear these squares out. Okay. By order of the city council, the harbor master says the only boat out is going to Sokal Keep. You can catch it at the end of the pier. And this will take you, it says you board a boat, it will take you to Sokal Keep. Um, but the boat disembarks at Sokal Keep. You want to go into search mode. What we need to clear. Explore map. Okay. Okay, the skeleton of a long dead elf lies hidden by the rocks and reeds. Its weapons and equipment are badly rusted and corroded by salt. Its leathers are now worm eaten and crusted in the dirt. In the pouch on the remains is a crumbling parchment scroll with the words, and this, if you use the translation wheel, this spells out looks, Chesney, and Samasud. That's basically what those elven runes will translate out to. All right, so let's go up here. Turn off search. Okay, so we're gonna parlay. Nice. And on that scroll it says Chesney is one of the words, so we're going to try that. And the undead left. Okay. Scorpions, and of course the scorpions are poisonous. And in first edition D&D, poison was absolutely awful. Killed you the second you got hit with it. You're dead. You're not unconscious. You're dead, and you have to get rezzed and lose a point of constitution permanently. And that's after you have a neutralized poison spell cast on you before you can actually be rezzed. So these are no joke. So let's hope for the best here. Ah, killed. See, there you go. Dead and dead over some scorpions. Okay. So you can tell I'm not real happy about that. Sell that glaive, sell that bastard sword. No need to keep that chainmail either. Pull, heal, neutralize poison. Yes. Heal. Neutralize poison. Heal. Yes. Heal. Okay, so now you see Constitution dropped to 12. Marlins dropped to 15. That's going to hurt. And it completely wiped out our money. But you know what? That's first edition for you, and that's full of Radiance. And the game is not meant to be easy. And sure, you can save and reload your way continuously through the game and get through it. But that's not really true to first edition, and I prefer to play it like it was pen and paper. So, which, don't get me wrong, I'm pretty pissed over that, but it's all good. Have a little bit of effect on our hit points. Oh, Marlon's hit points. Probably not rolling. Yeah, it's not terrible. All right, let's head back over to the keep and see if we can keep that from happening again. And those scorpions and the poison uh, creatures, mobs that you come across, it's not that they're that much of a danger to wipe your party. It's just that the pain in the ass it is when they kill your guys, and you gotta spend like 5,500 or 6,500 gold total to get them back. That's the problem. You can't just res them. You gotta pay to have neutralized poison. I mean, because your characters are nowhere near, even by the end of this game, of level to cast neutralize poison or raise dead. So you don't. Okay, so we end up with they respawned. I forgot about that. Let's try this. Okay. And I was thinking that scorpions were susceptible to sleep, but I could have been wrong. Said this room is covered with a carpet of fungus, whatever, whatever the proper English is for that. We're going to have to go rest. We can't rest here until we clear a number of undead patrols. And you'll hear people say that the economy in this game is broken. I think later on it is kind of, but um, like that. I mean, if you're paying to train your characters instead of using a character editor to go up in levels, and you're having to pay $6,500 $50. You're paying 6,500 gold every time your character gets killed by poison. Uh, it's not so much. soft search. There's nothing here. And our hit points on Roland and Marlin are still fine. And you can fight these undead patrols, but at low levels, the skeletons can be a little bit of a pain in the ass, to be honest. Not as much so as ghouls and whites. That's a whole different headache. Okay, so let's stay. Let pairs pay. Memorize. Stinking cloud and sleep. Same thing he said before, so I'm not going to bother reading it. Alright, so when you leave the keep and come back, everything returns. If you did clear the number of set undead encounters to be able to rest, it starts over, and then you have to type in the password all over again. Unwholesome mold and fungi cover the decaying ruins of the keep stable. A putrid smell of sickness rises as you enter the building. Yes. A broken hearth and bellows dominates the collapsed remains of a blacksmith shop. The floor is spongy and damp. The croaking of frogs greet your entry. Okay. The croaking rises in volume, so we're going to combat. There's really no way around this. I'm going to cast sleep. I know these guys can be slept. Okay, so we're and we're done. Got our search on. As you search through the wrecked smithy, you find that time has crumbled everything except with the exception of one old hammer. Do you take it? Yes. Now, this hammer is a pain in combat. It's real easy to drop it, to use it in combat, and then forget to pick it up. So for now, I'm just gonna give it to a mage, and I don't have to worry about throwing that hammer and having to remember every time to pick it back up. You enter the keep's old armory. All the weapons and armor have decayed into uselessness. Passing through an illusionary wall, you enter a portion of the keep that remains untouched by time or ravaging armies. There is a glow in the northwestern corner of the room. Special stands in the northwestern corner hold equipment. That'll be handy. On stands are a shield, a mace, a sword, and a suit of chainmail. The equipment has not been tarnished by the passing years. Do you take it? Yes. So we're gonna let Sylvia have the mace. So we got a shield +1. So we're gonna let Roland have it. Shield. Take the sword. And Roland can also carry the chainmail. Rolf's too weak to be carrying a bunch of junk. Okay, so let's head out. Let's go straight across the northern end of the room. This building is filled with broken and splintered wood, the remains of the bunks and chest of the original. On the remains of the bunks and chest of the original defenders. It seems everything has been well looted. Like I said in the previous video, I'm just getting over COVID, so my brain's a little bit foggy. Okay, a mist rises and thickens into numerous shadowing figures. From these figures rises a low moaning. Ghostly shapes screech out of a dreadful, keening howl. Advance, advance, parlay, nice. And on that scroll we saw at the gates, it did have the word looks on that scroll in Elven. So we're going to type looks. The haunts burst into a chorus of howls, moans, complaints, wails, and other lamentations over their fate and the fate of their families. They were the original defenders of the keep. Before the cleric's spells inadvertently bound them to this place, one spirit's voice rises above the rest. An account of our trials is within the diary. He points to a floorboard. Beneath the floorboard, you find some gems and a few pages of a diary. You copy these pages into your journal as entry 3. Do you take the gems? Yes. We'll share and exit, and let's read that number 3. Journal entry 3, an old leather-bound book written with a small, firm hand. The hordes came again last night. Their coordination was frightening. Under the under the cover of darkness, goblins and kobolds pushed bundles of sticks to within bow range. These bundles formed a wall that protected the small ones from our archers. Once the wall was erected, orc archers took up safe positions there and began pelting the castle walls with arrows. We tried shooting flaming arrows at the walls of sticks to set it afire. Monsters are normally afraid of fire, but these monsters show no fear. They simply scooped dirt on the flames to put them out. Before all the fires were out, they had resumed firing at us. Surely some unnatural force must have been at work to weld these quarrelsome beasts into an organized fighting force. I do not know if we can combat these monsters' onslaught much longer. We lost 12 more men last night. These monsters seem to have an unlimited number of reinforcements. The last priest of Tyr, Farron Martinez, says he has a way to protect the keep, but he says it's so terrible that it may only be used as a last resort. Unless we receive reinforcement shortly, Farron Martinez is our only hope. Okay, so done with that journal entry, and let's make sure that we just double check, make sure our spells are all no, we need to memorize another sleep spell. Oh boy. So let's we really need to have all of our spells locked and loaded, so yes, we give the password. before we go back and memorize all our spells back, let's go ahead and clear out this room up here. We're in search mode just to make sure we don't miss anything. In these rooms, you don't have to worry about the undead patrols. Let's turn off search while we're in the courtyard. It's annoying. Good night. And these are all supposed to be Farron Martinez defenders. Okay, so go memorize our spells. Sleep. Okay, let's check, make sure we're good. We've got 2 sleep spells on Sylvia and a whole person. We've got 2 sleep spells and a stinking cloud on Annalyn. So time to head back to the keep again. Let's see. Let's check our levels. Needs 137 experience to level. So we've got several. All 3 of our fighters are pretty close. And we have to type it in again. And you can pretty much figure by the layout of the dungeon that the main encounters, whatnot, will be in the center part, as within most keeps. Go down here and let's finish mapping before we proceed. So it'll take just a second. I know there's nothing there, so okay. So here we are going into the center part of the keep, and okay, a loud commotion rises from the courtyard, bashing open the door. A large force of orcs and hobgoblins rushes you. Yeah, you can say that's a large force. So let's start popping off sleep as fast as we can. Let's try to let's see here. A lot of enemies. Cast. Sleep. Looks like a decent spot. Appears to go down here and help take care of that flank. Okay. Cast. It's a good spot for Stinking Cloud. Seal up that doorway there. Okay. Let's start getting rid of some of these leaders that are asleep. Oh. Right there, that's probably the best spot. Best option that we have at the moment. Okay. It's a little bit risky, but it'll be worth it to take some of these other guys down here. Okay. Uh, Hold person. Alright. Right now we're just trying to clear out the sleep enemies before they wake up. Need to get rid of that orc because he's beating on my mage. Done. And at this point of the battle, we're just mopping up. Alright, they're starting to surrender now. Okay. And there's no magic items on these guys, but I'll just cast detect magic just to show that. Alright. On a hobgoblin body, you find a note that you copy into your journal is entry 57. So let's check entry 57. Journal entry 57. A ratty piece of parchment with large writing on one side. Our spies in the city inform us that a party of invaders will travel to Sokal Keep to free it. To combat these invaders, assemble a force of no less than 3 squads. Travel by boat from the small docks to west of town to Thorn Island. Move undetected to Sokal Keep. Find the adventurers in or around Sokal Keep. Kill them before they can return to the city council with information about the true situation at the keep. Return with the intruders' heads as proof of the completion of your mission. Upon completion, you will be rewarded with food, treasure, and many slaves. Signed, the boss. Alright, so we can go ahead and search this whole area and see that there's nothing in there. This was once the chapel of the keep. Inside the doorway are the dried husk of 2 orcs, their faces twisted with terror. A large altar that dominates the southern wall. A pale form rises before you. Parlay, nice. And we're going to type Lux again. The shape speaks. I am the life form of Farron Martinez, bound within the undead spirits of all who die within these walls to guard the keep. Tell me, has the city been freed? Do you? Tell the truth is what we're going to do. Farron speaks. The city fell long ago to the unblessed creatures imbued with the might of a magical pull. Chief among these were Tyrant Thraxus, and Draka, and Torath. With their powers, they ruled and united all else, driving forward to destroy us all. The sage Mendor worked hard to gather record of all these things, but they are all lost now. His library overrun. To pass my guards on the way out, speak the word Samasud. Now we are freed, our duty done. Farron fades away. Okay, so looks like we're done here. This hall is empty, save for the signs of a recent battle. Wonder what that was about. So we're going to head on out of here. And we're going to do what he says and say Samasud. Board a boat. Okay, so let's memorize our spells. Stinking Cloud, 2 sleeps. Whole person, 2 sleeps. Cure light wounds and a detect magic. That's all we cast. Cast at that time. Rest. Heal up. Okay, stop resting. Exit. We'll save our game just in case. We need to move during daylight so we can. The city hall is closed during the night time. So, okay, so Paris is ready to level. Roland and Marlon are almost ready to level, so we need to go in here first before we worry about leveling anybody. Okay, so we're here to turn in a commission. The clerk speaks. With Sokal Keep in our hands, we can use boats to bypass the Barren River. Here's your reward. So we got 1,308 experience. Share, it's all money, currency. The clerk shuffles her papers on the matter of commission. She says, I can offer the following. She just repeats the one about the books, maps, and tomes. The weapon of great power. Junior Councilman Cadorna has a special commission for you. His chambers are through the east door. So let's go through the east door and see what he wants. When Old Flan was overrun, a family treasure was hidden in the western building of the textile complex. The faithful servant was sent to fetch it and never returned. The complex is just south of Poto Plaza. Bring the treasure to me and you will be well rewarded. Alright, so now we've got 4 characters ready to be leveled up. So we need to make sure we've got enough gold to do all that. Alright, so let's cast a detect magic. Alright. And as always, we're going to first and foremost pull our gold. And then we're going to nothing to be identified. Identify. We'll get rid of that non-magical shield now. Alright, and we really don't need the banded mail because it's the same as plate mail. The only advantage of banded mail over plate mail is plate mail you can only move. You only get 6 movement points, which we'll have to live with. Get rid of that. Chainmail, which is worthless. Never found a good use for that. Alright, so ID, longsword, sell that non-magical longsword. Yeah, I don't want to leave my money. Mace +2. And good thing we didn't even have to use it. That's 2 Cure Light Wound spells. We didn't have to use that in that fight at the end of the slum. So that was good because we'll have use for that later. There's a hammer. Hammer +1. It can be thrown. Problem is with the hammer, after every combat that you throw that hammer, you've got to pick it up to use it again. So it's kind of a hassle. Okay, so let's see how much is left. Okay, so we'll just share, and appraise gem, praise gem, praise gem, praise gem, praise gem. Okay, so let's pull now and see what we've got. We need 800. Alright, now we can go train. Let's see, is it Rolf? Rolf level up in, I think he's leveling up in fighter. Yes. So everybody, all 4 that are leveling are all going to be the fighters. No. No. Yes. And let's see. Paris's constitution is 16, so the maximum he could get is 12. That would be a maximum of 35 hit points. Uh, he's not doing good on his rolls at all. Um, Roland's, so his maximum would be 10, so that'd be a maximum of 39. No, not very good. His constitution's 15, so I think that's a maximum of 38. Yep, so Marlon's doing good on his rolls, which is good because he lost a point of constitution, so it's good that it's not really affecting him badly. So let's see here. Rolf is ready to level up in Thief also. So let's have Sylvia trade him 200 platinum, and he can go next door to the Thief training room. Yes. Train. Hmm. Oh, he hadn't did the fighter level yet. That's what it is. Yes. Train. Yes. So he's up to 24 hit points now. So Adeline's close to level 4. She's 494 away. All right. All right, so that's going to wrap up this episode. We finished the last room in the slums. We cleared out Sokal Keep. We turned in the commission, and after we finish everything up here, which I think we've done, we'll be heading over to Kudo's Well to clear out that section and go from there. So thank you very much for joining me, and I hope you have a great day.